Good morning, welcome to another Disused Railway Explore video. I'm in between Doncaster and Rotherham today. It's a little village called Cadeby. Just behind me there, you'll recognise that, one of my previous videos if you watched that. That's Cadeby Tunnel. Now I know that's the Hull and Barnsley Railway, it's not what we've come to see, but there's a reason why I'm introducing the video from this exact location. So thanks to Roger Wainwright, who's very kindly let me include a couple of photographs here from more or less this exact location. So just up from the tunnel, it has been re-landscaped, this has been infilled. There would have been a bridge straight in front where the Dearne Valley Railway crossed the Hull and Barnsley Railway. Now, I seem to remember this approach down to the tunnel from the path there. It was a little bit longer last time. It's funny how you remember things, isn't it? And I had this vision in my head that that bridge crossed over the little approach path where you come down to it, but it doesn't appear to be the case. I think it's just a bit further up. It's maybe... We'll go and have a look. But this isn't where I'm starting the video today. If you remember that last episode we did from Doncaster, we did from near Blackcar, we did all the way as far as Conisbrough Tunnel. So let me get down to Conisbrough Tunnel and we'll start the railway walk from there today. Of course I mean Conisbrough Viaduct, not Conisbrough Tunnel. Not sure how I could get those two things mixed up. But in part one, back in November, we started near Blackcar Junction, just outside Doncaster, and worked our way past the site of the former Yorkshire Main Colliery, Edlington, Wormsworth, and through that cutting onto the Conisbrough Viaduct. Check out the link in the description for part one. So here's just a quick reminder. The Dearne Valley Railway was completed in 1909, and it carried passengers between 1912 and 1951, but otherwise was more widely known as a freight line. We're going to be following the route of the line as closely as possible all the way to Brierley Junction in this series. In this video we're starting on the Conisbrough Viaduct and telling the story of the section past Cadeby Main Colliery, past the site of the Denaby halt station and as far as the village of Harlington. So this is where we left you last time. We came from in that direction, Doncaster in that direction, so that's where we came under that bridge in that big cutting that was partially infilled, wasn't it, at the Edlington side. So this is obviously, if you've not twigged yet, this is Conisbrough Viaduct. I'm not walking all the way over the top because I'm going in that direction. Just swing you around there. There's River Don down there, Conisbrough behind it, Conisbrough Castle there, you can see right in the centre. Lots of flies around, a bit warmer today. It is still January, but it is 8 degrees. It's like 10 degrees more than the last few days. So we're off today. I'm aiming for Harlington, which is just past Denaby. It's about 3-4 miles. I can't remember exactly. That's the shot just at the side of the viaduct. Obviously, it's a bit drier from the last time we was down here. That day came and did the video of the viaduct with Paul, hammering it down that day. So straight off the viaduct, this is that old corrugated steel, bits of concrete left there. So I'm guessing it's a plate lace hut or hut for the rail workers right on the edge of the viaduct. You do see them, don't you, on the edge of viaducts. Come down here, show you from this side. Concrete sleeper left at the side. So passing right beneath us, somewhere around about here, would have been the old, well I say old, sorry, it's not old, still there today, it's still in use. The Conisbrough tunnel that carries that line from Doncaster to Sheffield goes right underneath us here. And obviously we've got the second tunnel, Cadeby tunnel, that goes about 100 yards in front of us. So there's the tracks, the Sheffield Doncaster line there. We're right on top now. It's quite a way down there. More concrete sleepers. I saw these when we did the Hull and Barnsley video. So right where I'm stood now was not too far away from Roger's photograph, but we're on top. We would have been on top of that bridge. So we can see the track bed going off in that direction. I don't know what reprofiling work's been done. The Dearne Valley Railway goes off that way. Hull and Barnsley goes off that way. I had this plan in my mind. I was going to flash up. No idea what that noise was. I was going to flash up Roger's photograph of that Dearne Valley Railway bridge. Let's get through this bush. Flying over the top of the Hull and Barnsley Railway in front of Cadeby Tunnel. And I had this vision in my head of standing on the approach to the tunnel where I'd be able to pick out the location of that bridge. As things stand today, that's not going to be the case, because just come up the path slightly, because the Hull and Barnsley Railway is infilled. I think that's down there. I think that's in this cutting. Straight in front, can you see there's the banking that's been infilled? I think this is where the bridge was, just here. So if we went and stood somewhere down there and this wasn't infilled, we would be able to recreate that exact photograph today. Information board, just telling you a little bit about the Dawn and the castle. Unfortunately, a bit of graffiti's found its way onto there, hasn't it? So we'll jump on this tarmac road. This is the Dearne Valley Railway. The path down to Cadeby Tunnel is just on the left here. In fact, I don't know if you can see the portal poking through the trees there. And here's that oddly gradient bridge passing over us. Plenty of railway sleepers left around. I've seen several types of rail fasteners, rail chairs. So we're passing, or on that side, you can't see for this banking unfortunately, down there would have been the Cadeby, site of the old Cadeby Main Colliery, closed in the 1980s, 1986 if memory serves me correctly. And we're kind of sat on the side of a hill. It's on a shelf. We'll be able to overlook Cadeby, over Conisbrough and on towards Cadeby Main Colliery, which is just a little bit further up. So these lines kind of intertwined at various places. Got the Dearne Valley line here, then the Hull and Barnsley Railway, which ran into Cadeby, served the Cadeby Colliery, and then obviously there was the can't remember the name of the railway company now. Is it that's not Midland, is it? I have to check that one. I should really know that. The Doncaster Sheffield active line. So 3 lines passing through this area, all through the same corridor down the Dearne Valley. I'm not exactly local to these parts. I grew up not too far away, a couple of miles the other side of Doncaster, but I did spend time out here on my push bike growing up. So I do know the area somewhat. As you can see, I thought we'd be able to come up here and get a decent view overlooking down there, but not the case. We'll carry on and see what else comes into view. More piles of sleepers. There's so many sleepers down here. Stacked on the hillside, or just randomly thrown by the looks of things down here. Clips from the track chairs, the bolts there. In the absence of anything else, I'll carry on showing you these huge deposits, concrete sleepers. Got one here with an identifier on there, 50. I promise that's the last concrete sleeper shot for now. One more. I think we've lost this track bed now anyway. I don't know if this is open cast around here, I really can't remember. But just before I leave the alignment of the railway and just take the detour around the Transpennine Trail, we've got some brick, like a brick pillar there, and some reinforced concrete. It's the other side of a barbed wire fence, so I'm not getting round to that. But we're roughly on the alignment here of the track bed cutting across. Roughly around where I've just put that red arrow. Now I do notice there's a bridge there, or maybe even a couple of bridges, so could those bricks, those piles of bricks, be from something to do with that? Before we move on from the Cadeby Main Colliery area, there's so much going on here. The blue is the existing line, the green is the Dearne Valley Railway that we've just walked on. We're currently here at the westerly end of the site, but there's also the orange Hull and Barnsley line. I'm going to just double back on myself and look at what else is left around the old colliery before we move on. The colliery was first sunk in 1889 and lasted for just shy of 100 years until 1986. As always, sadly, seems to be the case with every colliery that I pass on my travels, Cadeby Main suffered its own disaster in 1912, where 35 miners died in an explosion. A further 53 were killed during the rescue, and the total loss of life was a heartbreaking 91. So I walked up the top path on the way down on the Dearne Valley Railway. This bottom path, all this would have been sidings. I'll flash a map up on the screen properly, but just to show you. So we're roughly there. I'm assuming this is the capping off of the top of the mine shaft for Cadeby Main Colliery. There's a sign around there, 9B. I don't know what that means. Somebody may let me know. But not a lot to see. It's just sort of scrubland, wasteland really, with a path going through. I mean, that's the maps, there's plenty of lines down here. It's changed to a point where there's no discernible evidence. Apart from, and this is the, try and get down there, this is the Hull and Barnsley Railway. That bridge abutment there. This is that bridge, you know, the weird bridge with the gradient just in front. So if that bridge would have carried on over the top of here and down there, see there's a bit of rail sticking up out of the ground, and some more over here. See, we're obviously something to do with that bridge. Let's say this isn't the Dearne Valley Railway, but it is by the side of the Dearne Valley Railway, so it's worth just mentioning. Right, so we're stood in the track bed, the Dearne, Hull and Barnsley Railway down towards Cadeby. It's the South Yorkshire Junction Railway, that was it. Get my lines right. And here's the other abutment that we've just been stood on top of. Let me get into the middle. That's the other side I've just been looking at. Plenty of bricks on the floor, isn't there, down here? Wasn't expecting to be finding this. So there's the trackbed down there, look. Plenty of brickwork and ruins of this old bridge, isn't there? That's the trackbed. Looking in that direction, looking towards the tunnel. We should try to follow it. We should come up to a footpath in a minute. So we do, so that's going back towards the tunnel that way. And looking down towards the colliery. But it's going to go up here. And that's looking back over that bridge we've just been stood at. I mean, I'm sure there's lots more, much more evidence of the colliery and lines to be found around this area if you've got a good few hours to have a poke about in the woods and trees and the different paths. So here's that bridge from the bottom of the hill. So as you can see, I can assure you it's as steep as it looks from underneath. So this is a path going back up towards Cadeby, you could say. Down the bottom where we just stood. It's looking in the direction we're going today. It's looking where we've just walked from. So we are going to be going into the back end, I think, of Denaby Nature Reserve. I think we're back on the trackbed now. Looking in that direction, we'll find out in a minute. I've just come from that path there. We're now inside Denaby Nature Reserve, and yeah, on the maps, this is definitely railway embankment. That's Denaby Lake, Ings, I suppose. On that side there, on the right hand side. Yeah. So that's the course of the railway there. I mean, there doesn't appear to be any. It does mention the railway there. Actually, I was just going to say it doesn't note the railway there. So it looks like the River Dearne was diverted, but just checking the map again as I'm walking along. This was a railway junction. Completely slipped my mind. So we had the main line. It's the main line, Dearne Valley line there. We had a line going off that way. Looks to be going into the old Denaby Main Colliery down there. And that's where we're currently stood, right on the top of the junction there. Assuming it's somewhere down there. It's difficult to tell now, isn't it? Just before we move on any further, we can see some of the remains of this line a bit further south, right where I've put the arrow there. So that line that branched off to the right, I've just been telling you about, it's walking back to the car down the Transpennine Trail, other side of the River Dearne now, and there's these bridge abutments just at the side, so at the side of the path. Excuse me, I'm assuming this is partially filled in, but this is the line. This is the line going over. It completely didn't occur to me that I was going to be walking past that line again. But of course, yeah, we're going to be crossing it at some stage. Yeah, the junction's right where this inlet is. These floodgates down here. So looking that way, that's where the lines would have split. So we've got a bit of a detour down here just to get around this flood barrier. That's the River Dearne straight in front. So that's our first glimpse of the River Dearne from the railway. Of course, the river that gives it its name. The alignment seems to be going straight across there. Look, you can see the end of the bank in there. Yeah, so this is the end of the embankment going straight across. The new bridge over the floodgate has kind of thrown me off a bit there. So we do have a little bit of a very short stretch down the track bed now. Got a couple of gate posts here. Another one on that side. Starting to open out a little bit. You can actually get a sense now that you're walking on top of a railway embankment. There's an old piece of brickwork on the side of the line there. Yeah, it does look like an infilled bridge. The ground's not very good for getting down, unfortunately, but bricks. Got the wing walls there, and another one on this side. Can't see anything on the maps though. So we're just approaching the visitor centre now. At the end of this little stretch on the embankment. It's Denaby Nature Reserve visitor centre building, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is the site of the old Denaby Halt station. Now, I can tell you this with 100% confidence, there's nothing of that station left. In fact, it's probably pushing the boundaries of the word station, actually. There was a line of old railway sleepers in a row. It's been a support for something at some stage. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. As we've seen at the other station halts along this line, they were wooden platforms at ground level with an old railway coach for a shelter. To give it its full name, Denaby for Conisbrough and Mexborough, not really particularly close to any of those villages mentioned there. In fact, I was reading a tale about soldiers returning from World War I were dropped off at Denaby Halt by mistake and had a several-mile walk back home to Denaby. Yeah, I think when I called it a visitor centre, I think that's not quite accurate. It looks pretty derelict now. But is it Pastures Lane? It's down there. So this would have been a bridge straight over to the other side. Still some bits and bobs knocking about. We've got this old post with some railway track bolted to that, and then this old boundary fence post. Just at the other side of the Pastures Road from the Denaby Nature Reserve. I'm on top of the river banking. It's a bit breezy up here. That's the Dearne there. Gives the railway its name. And the track bed, the railway, is that line of trees you can see that we're about to converge onto just in front. Nice old railings. Don't know if they're original or not. I suspect not. Okay, there's a stile over there. So this is the track bed. It's curious. So where does that path go? We ought to ask Daz of Mexborough. It's only 100 yards from Pastures Road. That little detour doesn't seem to go anywhere, that path. It's just thick overgrowth down there. But we're back on the railway embankment heading towards Harlington. It's been tarmacked. It's just part of the Transpennine Trail cycleway. Straight away we come across the bridge. It seems to be partially infilled at that side. See, it's the same railings that we've just seen there at the other end, isn't it? And here's the other side of that bridge. A little bit more to see over here. If I get untangled from this branch. Excuse me. Really shallow wing walls out there. only if that's because it's basically built on pastures, so they're kind of giving it more, trying to give it more stability, try and stop it sinking into the swamp that it's basically built on top of. Show you underneath, that's been reinforced, hasn't it, with that wood. I've just noticed a couple on the side. I've been passing these every 20 yards or so, little wooden posts. Are these the equivalent of those little concrete stubby posts for the cabling for the signals? And another bridge, the same thing. That's a post, that. Now, that's not a gradient post, is it? 1 in 2, half, maybe a half-mile post. Still standing. Superb. Another little bridge. Quite a few bridges along this little section. Still intact. It's a lovely little arch, isn't it, that? It's quite deep. We've had a good little stretch on that embankment there from Denaby, but the banking goes off down there now. As far as Harlington, we have to take a detour along the riverbank and then onto a road into the village. Sorry about the noise. We're just cutting some trees. So they're doing the best to discourage you from coming up on this bit of the track bed. In fact, I can see it's blocked in front. There's piles of branches of leaves, which is really frustrating because this little bit's out of bounds, because you can virtually see Harlington. It's not far in front at all. I was planning to finish the video today in Harlington. There's the old halt, the old station, like well, we didn't see, did we, but like there was in Denaby, just on Crane more close. Now there's nothing left there of the old halt, or the railway wasn't an embankment, so I think rather than carry on, I can probably just show you what I need to show you just with some Google Map screenshots. And this is Harlington, and you can see the line of the track bed coming in from the south there, and a line of houses built on Crane more close, and that's where Harlington Halt used to be. So obviously the embankment's now been flattened, and that's what it looks like today. Now, I've not seen any photographs of that embankment running through Harlington, but it did cross over Doncaster Road. So just imagine an embankment and a bridge right in the centre of shot here. The next episode I'm going to do is going to be from Harlington over towards Goldthorpe, and I think that's got quite a little bit more, from what I can tell, quite a little bit more to show you, so I'm looking forward to doing that one, and I'll pick that up from the just going out the other side of Harlington. So let me know what you think of that section of the Dearne Valley Railway today. I think it was a little bit more interesting than that first section that we did. Maybe not massive amounts. It's not going to crack my top 5. I don't think it'll even crack, should I say, my top 25. But I think that's well worth it. I've actually enjoyed myself today, actually, saying that. Yeah, it's not been too bad. So as always, don't forget to leave the video a like, leave me a comment, any questions or anything you want to tell me about what you've seen today. If you've not subscribed, obviously hit the subscribe button. There's more videos like this. Check my back catalogue. So as always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.